There we go.
You need to calm down.
And then he silenced me because he took away my phone, he gave me COVID, I was there alone, so what did I have? This.
Can you pray without words?
Can you? Yes. Yeah. Let the meditation of my heart. Yeah. Check with Linda. We might be back on. See if that's true. All right. Go to the next page, 32, and that same thing shows up again. But this time it's with the word trust. Before it was praise, now it's trust. So go to page 32, and let's have somebody read that very last paragraph in the second column.
That means we can trust God. We can trust Him for salvation. We can trust Him to provide that release, that way out. We can trust Him to keep His promises. We can trust Him to provide what we need every day. We can trust Him to watch over us. We can trust Him to take us to heaven when it's our time.
So what else is there? Doesn't that kind of take care of everything? Whatever it is that's going on in your life, you can trust God to give you what you need to get through it. Wow. That's a lot of trust, isn't it?
I'd also go in the previous column, would be the second paragraph at the end where it says, this is what the Hebrew word for my salvation means. Too, I underlined that too. What does it mean? Release from pressure coming from all sides. I had never thought of that quite like that before.
I don't think most of us have or would.
Yeah, so that's,
You're feeling pressure. Pressed in from multiple sides. The pressure keeps coming.
yeah, and if you read the words before that too, time pressure, you're stuck, and that means you're going to be late, and all of a sudden an opening forms to get off the highway, and your phone tells you an alternate route. That is what the Hebrew word for my salvation means, being released from pressure coming from all sides.
Doesn't that make the word salvation even better?
Yeah, to me,
That sin presses us down, time presses us down, relationships press us down, work presses us down, retirement presses us down. Whatever is going on in your life, you feel pressure. You don't necessarily have to feel the pressure, but sometimes whatever it is makes us feel pressure. Oh, I'm late. Oh, whatever. And we're feeling pressure. And it's nice when there is no pressure. So you say, well, I'll retire, and then there'll be no more pressure. How's that work?
Get rid of your car.
Get rid of your, the way to not have time pressure, don't have clocks in your house, don't have a watch on your wrist, then time means nothing. Yeah. So then go over to the next one on 33 where it talks about the strength. That was today's. So maybe you haven't even gotten today's yet. But in each one of there was praise, there was trust, and now it's strength. So let's have somebody read that second to last paragraph in the second column, which starts with and so.
When we feel weak, we know we have strength. When we feel indecisive, we have God's strength. When we feel unmotivated, we have God's strength. When we feel attacked from others, God is our strength. When the devil tempts us, God is our strength and defense. Nothing fake about God's strength. Still joke, the Lord is our strength.
And you can see why they added that line in there because it's for the April 1st devotion. But yeah, when you think
Isaiah 12:2.
Isaiah 12:2.
Beautiful.
You think about all of these different things, but do we think we need strength? No. But we have strength because God is with us. So when we feel attacked, we have strength. The devil, we have strength. When you feel unmotivated, you have strength. Have you ever where you're in the midst of something and it's just really going badly? And the more you try to help the situation, it gets worse. And pretty soon you're just so frustrated. You just kind of either throw up your hands in disgust or you just start crying. And it's just like, or maybe that's your everyday lifestyle. I don't know. But aren't there times where it just everything is not working? I can't get a break. And yet this would say, even in that moment, you still have strength. So why do we go there?
Because our focus is more on ourselves than on
Yep,
God.
yep,
And it's our
yep,
sinful
yep,
nature to
yep,
do that.
yep. That's our default nature. So before we can even have a thought about the situation, we've already gone to the default, which is poor me, why this, why now, where's God? God has abandoned me, all of which is not true. So now you're just going down the proverbial black hole. And that
But
sometimes
if you have God in your
get out of
heart, you think that COVID was a blessing, you think that no phone was a blessing,
ooh, see?
and you think that, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. That's just me, myself, and God. Hello, Jesus and me and my
So-
teeth.
So this is not to say the goal, but the goal would be to have COVID every day of your life, because then it's just you and me and God.
There you go.
Doesn't that sound good?
I know,
Now,
how
COVID
others-
every day, I don't know about that.
Others.
Yeah, yeah. But can you get an idea of what this week's worth of devotions is all about? That there's parts of our lives where we're really not keyed into our God. We're not keyed into his trust, his praise, his strength, and then each of the other days we'll have another word for it. That, we have it all, right? Because we have the joy of our salvation. And when you think about it, we don't really need anything else, right? Now, does that mean we should pack our bags and go sit out on the curb? No, that's not what that
We
means.
might need to pack our bags, but not go sit on the
But not sit on the curb. Have your bags ready. Just, you don't have to sit outside. You can sit inside. Yeah. But yeah. Is there a day of reckoning?
Yes, sir.
Is there a judgment day?
Every day of our life.
For the unbeliever, that could either be that person's death, right? That's their judgment day, or the literal end of the world judgment day.
That's supposed to be April
So,
8th.
April 8th.
April 8th,
Oh boy.
yeah.
Wait a minute.
All the suns, all the eclipses.
Everything is gonna
all the
align?
things.
Oh.
Okay.
They're all
April
good.
8th.
Sharon,
April 8th.
this is good news for Sharon, right?
Hallelujah.
Uh,
April 8th.
yeah. See, so on the 8th, you don't have to get up early
That's right.
because might be the end.
My favorite bookmarker says, His
That's
mercy
next
is more. I
Tuesday.
took that in there.
Yep. Yeah, our hymn,
Praise
our sins, though they're many, his mercy is more. We have plenty of sins, but he has more mercy. So we don't worry about that. All right, turn to the back side of your agenda page, and there we have room for our prayers. We always kind of fill up the whole list here, every line. So start shouting them out here.
I have one. My sister died
Then the word
yesterday,
is.
Oh,
Oh, Sharon.
so, but she was in hospice since the 1st of December, so.
Oh.
And
Her
my
sister, Sharon's
My
sister.
sister, she's had Alzheimer's. She's been in a home for like 3 years. So I've grieved for, I lost her a while ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
the one who you knew as your sister.
yeah.
Yeah, she's
exactly.
physically alive, but she's
Exactly.
not your
She's
sister.
alive. And even when, we were together in that, it wasn't, it wasn't
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Her head died before her body.
So she finally
Okay.
passed yesterday.
So there'll be a funeral someplace
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday. And
At Zion in Crete. That's where she's
Oh,
was
Crete, Illinois.
born, baptized, confirmed, married.
Uh,
She's been in Crete her whole life.
yeah,
Never moved.
my sister-in-law's from Crete.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know which church they were at, but it was Missouri Synod Church. So is Zion Missouri Synod?
No, Zion has always been Wisconsin.
Oh.
Trinity was Missouri.
Trinity was
Yeah,
Missouri.
Trinity was Missouri.
Yeah,
But then they changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're sorry to hear that. That's sad.
So, yeah, it is. But like I said, it's a blessing for her and my niece.
Mhm. You know, you try to think of what can I do for a person who's not all there, and even though you think of all these wonderful things to do, they're not always received as
Yeah, well, that's it. And even when we were doing things, I mean, she was here last Easter, I think. They still
Oh.
brought her to my house. And I picked out some little 100-piece puzzles. She's always a jigsaw puzzle person, but she
Oh.
can't really do them anymore. She can't use the iPad anymore, you know.
oh
So I had these little jigsaw puzzles that I used to have in my teaching studio for the kids to work on, little 100-piece puzzles.
Yeah.
So I spent all day sitting with her and we did these little jigsaw puzzles
Oh.
and, you know, she enjoyed it and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't her.
it wasn't her. It wasn't her.
You know,
Yeah.
still wasn't the same.
Yeah. Well, we're sorry to hear that. Yeah. And don't forget Jerry Williams' brother Terry. His health situation was a little more complicated than anybody thought. So there's just stuff that needs to be done, and so he still needs prayers. He's got some degree of health back, but there's more he could get, and if it's God's will, he'll get it, and we'll see.
It's his bike too.
Pardon?
His bike. too.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's just two, and then it complicates everything. too.
yeah.
She misses him.
She's got Alzheimer's pretty bad, and she's just totally confused as, you know, why doesn't Terry come home? Where's Terry? Yeah.
Jerry is such a blessing to all of us. And today I got the same card that you sent me, Dean, a beautiful, one I'll always treasure. But Jerry is he's such a good man. He is such a good man and a giving man, and what he's gone through, but he doesn't look like he's the one that just doesn't think all of it he does for all us widows. I mean, he's always there for us, and what a wonderful man our Jerry is. We should have a prayer for
A
him.
prayer for Jerry.
Because the
Prayer for Jerry,
caretakers
yes.
sometimes
Yes. Yes.
are very
Yeah.
needy,
He's very
Yeah.
selfless,
selfless,
always thinking about others.
hopeless.
So he needs good health so that he can
Strength.
continue to do all that. He needs strength to do all of that
His
stuff.
cousin owns the little Pebbles and Pickens down in Cherry Valley where we get the little vases and
Mm.
flowers. And she tells me stories about Jerry. Oh,
Jerry.
too fun. His nickname, all these things. But just such a good man. We just have to pray for him to give him the strength to continue caring for his brother.
With Alzheimer's, that's why we're talking about that. And we pray for my brother Ron, who is also
Oh, absolutely.
diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Mm.
When he calls, we talk about the farm days and
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it's way back when.
the big road.
But lots of fond memories.
Mhm.
And that makes you both, happier. So nothing wrong with that.
Barb Schlegel's brother that had, Kathy, help me. What would it be?
No, I can't remember.
Yeah, anyway, it runs in the family.
Oh,
The one she always would
Oh, yeah.
meet here.
Me too.
Yeah, anyway, he died. too.
Oh.
And,
yeah, she
it was
did
a
write
blessing.
that.
It was a
Yeah.
blessing.
He had
Huntington,
Yes.
Huntington, yeah.
so this is Barb's
That's right.
Actually,
brother, Barb's
Yeah.
brother.
And the blessing was, she came here once, when she comes, she quite often was always gonna meet them,
mhm.
because the daughter would bring the brother from wherever he was out towards Chicago. And the first time she came, it was gonna be his birthday, she had a gift for him. He wasn't doing well. But then the second time she came, she left early from church too, and he was there. And she had a special cushion for him to sit on, and he liked it, But it was, I think that week after, then, that Saturday, and he died. And it was a blessing. She looks at it as a blessing, but it's a loss for her because her
Right.
It's still a loss.
siblings- She's had a number of siblings.
Still a loss.
A good share of them are diagnosed with it, and
Yeah.
she keeps losing them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget Mike Pittner.
How's he
Um,
doing? Have you seen him, Pastor?
I was just there to see him Friday of last week. he almost always has constant pain in his leg. And he's still going for transfusions or infusions, whichever the word is. And I think he had to do 2 this week in Madison. He still has got a lot of doctoring to do. It's just, it's a tough road that he has. And he just can't seem to get better. He's better, but he's not better, if you know what I mean. I mean, he walks around and he's in his house and he cooks and cleans and stuff, but he's not really better. So I think he's even now not walking the dog. So there's just so much pain.
Is the pain that was still from the shingles? Because that's what he had told me.
Yeah, it's in his one leg, so I don't know if
Yeah.
did he have more shingles in one part of his body than another?
Mhm.
Maybe. Okay, but yeah, the pain is still there.
And Rich,
Still there.
have you seen Lon? He wasn't in church Sunday. Rich, have you seen Lon? Is he doing all right?
His dad came by and opened up the garage door, and Lon wasn't there,
Mhm.
but his wife's car was still in the garage. So
Hmm.
then his dad closed the door and took
Never
off.
seen him walking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
can pray for
Let's pray for
Lon.
Lon.
yeah. You need to pray for Lon.
Yeah.
Those of you who know Lon well, he has not really been himself since about the middle of January.
To get his job away.
So February, March, April. So it's been a while. I can talk to him one day and he's okay. And I talk to him someday the next week and all kinds of stuff bad has happened. So he's kind of like on a roller coaster.
Mhm.
Good days, bad days, good
Yeah.
days, bad days, back and forth. Something has happened and he's not able on his own to get on top of it. And I don't know if he's the kind that takes help from others.
He listens to Rich. Rich is the one that will tell him to maybe
Yep.
they.
Rich is our lawn connection because he
Yes,
can talk to
yes.
him
And
more
we
than
so
anyone else.
thank you,
Lon.
Rich, for all
Lon.
you do. there, too.
I'd like to mention that I would like prayers for what Pastor is trying to do on Sunday with these lessons on evangelism to take to heart with it, put people in your mind. I want to tell you, Sunday I was really struggling. The weather was something else and so forth. And I had this one couple in mind in my neighborhood, and I finally called them or text them and can I stop in? And I did. They were welcoming during the whole time I was praying. How can I bring up what I want to talk about? And no opening came that I realized until I was going to walk out, and on the wall was a cross.
Mhm.
And I thought it was fabric, and I touched it and I said, "Oh, I thought this was fabric." It opened the conversation up. I
see.
left maybe 15, 20 minutes later.
Mhm.
It's so pray about somebody and then approach them, and then God is going to lead you.
Mhm.
You know, we are both very needy to hear the gospel.
Yeah. Greg was saying, Pastor, can I get a gold star for my evangelism efforts this past week? And I go, what do you mean? A gold star? He said, well, I took Pastor Paul Waldeck with me to do a tree job because he wants to learn how to do chainsaws and tree business. So he took him along. And so while Greg is doing the tree, the guy is talking to Pastor Waldeck, and they had an evangelism conversation because the guy was saying, yeah, things aren't going so well. Yeah, stuff at my church. And Paul says, well, here you go. So you just don't know who, when, how, why. Stuff happens.
One of the openings they did after we were on that subject, because they were talking about the Bibles and their family and so forth like that. And I said, it's really a hard thing for me to understand. I mean, I was blessed. I was baptized as a young, and I stayed with the faith. What keeps people? Why do they drop away? Because that's what would happen with her. She dropped away, and she told me.
What was it?
Huh?
Her parents would go to church and came home and fought. Oh,
Mm.
So if that's the goodness that you get from church,
Wow.
Right.
maybe it's
well,
not
and
Yeah.
she says, I
worth
just
that
can't
much.
Understand why there's so many different churches. So then we got into that discussion.
Yeah.
I just prayed that I had wisdom enough about me to answer everything. But I do know we've opened that discussion now, and I laid out some books, and of course, they're gonna get an invitation. She said, after I talked about that, she said, maybe sometime I should come and visit.
There you
I
go.
said, well, what about Easter? And it was time for me to leave, but now I have an opening to go back. to
Right,
the Easter
right, right.
invitation, And I picked out at least one book that I have too that will maybe help her.
Yeah. We have more Easter invites, so if
Right.
people need more,
Mhm.
I got plenty more.
I was fortunate and blessed to be with Rich and Jan on Sunday after church. And Rich was saying, oh, Vicki, we just need Sunday school teachers. We have probably over 300 kids at City First, and we need Sunday school teachers so bad. I go, oh, I gotta go over there. I'm gonna have to go over there. We have Sunday school teachers here, but no